EA is looking to sell itself. AMD revealed stunning new CPUs, Stalker 2 is back in development, and much more on Today in Gaming. Hey guys, LevelCap here, and EA is reportedly looking to get acquired. According to news outlet Puck, EA has been in talks with the likes of Amazon, Apple, and Disney about a potential buyout. However, the most recent talks fell through in the last month with NBCUniversal due to disagreements over the price and structure of the deal. Had they come to an agreement, NBC would have taken majority control of EA as part of a merger. Comcast owns NBC, and the merger would have meant that EA's CEO Andrew Wilson would become head of NBC EA. No information about the proposed dollar figure for the merger has been revealed. Details about negotiations with other companies are also unclear. It's tough to say what a merger like this would actually mean for the company. Most of the big game company acquisitions recently have been between game companies that are involved in the industry, like Microsoft buying Activision and Sony buying Bungie. Comcast and NBC, on the other hand, are less experienced in the game development world. EA's statement regarding the report is that they don't comment on rumors and speculation. Still, they carried on to say that they're proud to be operating from a position of strength and growth with a very bright future ahead. Ultimately, this story ends with a big question mark. If EA has been pursuing a buyout for several months or even years like the report suggests, it seems like just a matter of time before somebody scoops them up. It sounds like so far they've been pursuing deals with mostly Western corporations. Perhaps a European or even Eastern company like Tencent might be willing to foot the bill. Considering FIFA and Apex Legends alone account for over $2 billion in annual revenue, EA's price tag won't be small. What do you guys think about this report? With all the recent massive acquisitions, it seems like buyout fever has hit the gaming industry. Does EA selling itself off sound like a good move? Let us know in the comments. AMD revealed a stunning lineup of new CPUs and supported motherboards early this morning at Computex. The Ryzen 7000 series is launching this fall. Key improvements include boosted clocks faster than 5 GHz, integrated graphics for all models, DDR5 and PCI Gen 5 support, and AI accelerated hardware. The new CPUs will launch alongside the new AM5 socket 650 motherboard architecture. AMD have announced 3 tiers, the X650E, the X650, and the B650. The X variants will support all the bells and whistles for power users, with all 3 tiers offering the latest standards for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth built in. Ryzen 7000 will also support 24 PCIe lanes for fast storage devices, GPUs, expansion cards, chipset ports, and more. They'll also have support for up to 14 USB super speed ports that offer 20 GB connectivity each. AMD says their new CPUs will offer a 15% performance improvement in single-threaded tasks, and you can expect a pretty hefty gain in multi-threaded workloads even when compared to Intel's latest generation processors. In general, it seems like the Ryzen 7000 series is less about a raw performance upgrade though, and more about packing in features that the CPU line has typically lacked. Integrated graphics might not seem like a big deal, but it's a critical inclusion for people who need high-end CPU performance without the additional power draw or heat of a dedicated GPU. Those 24 PCIe lanes make expansion card heavy workflows like machine learning, big data sets, and advanced networking much more feasible on consumer-grade CPUs. AMD are also launching Smart Access Storage with Ryzen 7000. It uses a compatible Radeon GPU to handle data decompression and will be the first third-party implementation of Microsoft's Direct Storage API. This is the same tech that gives the Xbox Series consoles insane load times and should greatly increase the loading performance on PC. No pricing or specific hardware has been revealed by AMD yet. With stock shortages finally starting to subside, you might actually be able to buy one of these new CPUs on launch at a reasonable price. Stalker 2 is back in active development. GSC Game World had to flee Ukraine due to Russia's ongoing invasion. They halted development temporarily as they closed their offices in the region and moved some employees to a new office in Prague. Stalker 2 was delayed to December 8, 2022 at the start of the year. It's unclear what impact this pause in development will have on that date. Star Citizen's ongoing Invictus event has resulted in over 50,000 new accounts being created since it went live. That's much more than the previous events and arguably some of the fastest growth the game has ever seen. Unfortunately, the explosion in new players hasn't been smooth going for the game's servers. Star Citizen's official server status page is tracking server issues caused by the influx of new players. Character reset times are much higher than normal. Another bug causing duplicated ships to appear in players' inventory might be partially responsible for the delays. The developers are cautioning people to avoid character resets as a fix for the duplicate ship bug and say you should only do a reset if you're totally unable to play the game. Server stuff aside, there's a lot of cool stuff to explore during the Invictus event. The devs also revealed a new ship called the Anvil Legionnaire. This is classified as a boarding ship and will eventually let you dock and breach hostile ships when those features are properly added to the game. Square Enix recently sold their flagship Western Games and associated studios to holding company Embracer Group. At the time, neither party had anything of note to say about the future of these games, but recently Embracer has opened up, saying that they want sequels, remasters, remakes, and spin-offs of Square's former franchises. This could include Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, or even the Legacy of Kain. Many of Square's franchises have been dormant for years thanks to the company's unrealistic expectations. The 2013 Tomb Raider reboot sold 14.5 million units, more than double the franchise's previous record. Square considered it disappointing. They still agreed to finance 2 more Tomb Raider games, but Square put Deus Ex and Thief on ice despite recent entries achieving commercial success that matched or beat their legacy titles. Year 7 Season 2 Rainbow Six Siege is shaping up to be a massive departure from the game's initial design. It launches in June, adding a new operator, a firing range, and several tweaks to the way Siege's operators are organized. Starting with this update, operators will be organized into squads. This will help tie game's narrative elements to the characters while also helping guide new players and revitalize older operators for veteran players. Essentially, the squads will serve as pre-made rosters with good team composition, so if you're unsure which operator to pick, just stick to operators in the same squad your teammates picked. Season 2 only has 2 squads, but more will be added in future updates. The new operator coming with this season is called Sens. They're an attacker with a deployable drone that creates a wall of smoke in its wake. It's very similar to the wall abilities in Riot's competitive FPS Valorant. Walking Dead star Norman Reedus accidentally let slip that Death Stranding 2 is in active development during a recent interview. Reedus served as the first game's main character alongside a cast of other A-list celebrities. The game's creator, Hideo Kojima, confirmed the announcement on Twitter with a series of images showing him and Reedus together, joking about it. No details about Death Stranding 2 have been announced. Before we get on to our final story today, I just wanted to say thanks for tuning in. If you're new around here, be sure to subscribe and enable notifications. It's a couple of extra clicks, but it'll make sure you never miss another gaming news story. The final showdown between FAZE and Navi at the CSGO Antwerp Major broke 2 million concurrent viewers. That makes it the most watched event in CSGO Major history. FAZE took the crown after 2 heavily contested matches. Despite a 2-0 victory, Navi never seemed far behind, and both teams made exceptional plays throughout. CSGO as a game may not be making that many headlines these days, but it's more popular than ever and shows no signs of slowing down. The long-rumored Source 2 port of the game recently gained a little bit of steam according to leaks, so we should see big changes in the game's future. And that wraps it up for today in gaming. As always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.